Hi everyone, Stacy Heisman here for GI Jobs Magazine, and today I have a really special guest. His name is Burgess Perry, and he is a Army veteran. He was a combat medic, right? And he is with us today to discuss. Basically, he has taken the road less traveled. He actually started something brand new, and I'm really excited to share it with you because I think he's got one of the best stories out there. Hi, how are you, Burgess?
I'm doing well, Stacy. Yeah, thank you for having me today.
I'm thrilled that you're with us because I think your story is really unique, and I think it lays the groundwork for successful veterans down the road. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of what you do today, let's talk about what you did in the Army. Tell me a little bit about the service you were in, your career field, and how long you were in it.
Yeah, and so I joined the Army in 2007 as a combat medic stationed at Fort Hood. So I was a combat medic for about 5 years with some deployment there to Afghanistan and OEF. Um, and then upon coming back, I went back to nursing school and became an Army nurse. And then I spent about 5 years with a mix of inpatient care, critical care, and things like that in a hospital.
So that leads me to want to say that you've continued your career and fabulous nursing career, and you've learned it. You went through the health system, but that's not the case. You actually came out and did something completely different. You own your own franchise. You started your own franchise. It's called Paint Corps, and I want to know a little bit about that because I think that's so interesting that you went from a career, a combat medic, essentially, to a franchise owner. Tell me what made you make that leap.
Yeah, it was a total leap. I'll say that with no experience painting and very little experience in the construction industry as a whole. Most of my experience being medical. At the time, I just wanted to be a business owner and kind of take things into my own hands and make something out of nothing. So I looked at the painting industry as something that that I could really develop and create more, standardize and things like that. So that was kind of it. It's also a very low startup to kind of get involved into that industry. So a little bit, different factors there, but yeah.
Okay, so you tell me how you actually I love the fact that that's you wanted to be your own boss because really, after being told for so many years about, where to go, what to do, and how to do it, it's nice to be able to take your career into your own hands. But the painting industry, you own Paint Corps. Tell me exactly what that is and what kind of services you provide, and then we're going to talk about who you franchise to.
Yeah, of course. So, when I started my painting business in roughly 2016, 17 timeframe, I was just starting out. I knew absolutely nothing about business. And just kind of had to learn and develop and kind of get through that whole process, learning the marketing aspect of business. There's a lot there. But over time, over about a 5 year time frame there, I was able to develop the painting business to where essentially it was running itself. We had a general manager, we had close to 30 employees, and 12 or 13 service vehicles in operation. And it was very hands off for me at that point. We really developed some really good processes, systems and processes to just kind of allow that business to run itself. So at that point, I said, what's the next step? And that next step for me was franchising. We decided let's franchise, let's provide this to other veterans so that they can have their own business and take it and really run with it.
Well, and that leads me to my next question, which is, I want to know a little bit more about how you modeled this. It sounds like you had somewhat basically a mentor of some sort to be able to kind of model your franchise after. Tell me about tell me about that person and that company you got that basically paved the way for you.
Yeah, so Jack is a great friend of mine, Jack Child, who owns Veteran Service Brands. And underneath that umbrella, he also owns another franchise, well, a few, but one being G-Force Line Striping, and they do parking lots, the parking stalls and stuff like that.
We've done a couple stories about them too, and they're a great franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a phenomenal guy. And so I came to Jack and said, what do you think about franchising the painting business? At this point, it's doing really well, and I'd love to see other veterans, take hold of this as well. And after talking for a bit and kind of developing some things on the back end, we finally launched officially at the beginning of 2022.
That's super exciting because now you've actually have a couple under your belt, right? You only, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but you only lease or franchise, you only give them to veterans, is that right?
Correct. Yep. So that's kind of the requirement, is being a veteran owner. We have that instant camaraderie with other veterans. So we really love that. Everyone's really able to work together as a team, as a family, even. So yeah, that's kind of what we aim for.
Well, I have to tell you, I love that, and I was talking about this with a couple other folks, and it's the simple fact that you not only came out of the army and did something completely new, but you have created something that allows others to do something completely new on their own, and you're like pulling each other up through, you know, through the transition rope, and I really, really appreciate that part of it because I think that's really telling about who you are. Now, where are you located? Tell me a little bit about you personally. Where are you located?
Yeah, so I currently live in Tampa, Florida. I don't suspect I'll be moving anytime soon either. I absolutely love Florida in general. But yeah.
Well, so how do you plan to grow? Tell me about your growth. How many franchises do you have now? And what's your hope in say 10 years from now?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we started at the beginning of the year. We officially have six, if you count the Tampa location as well. We have more, lots of people highly interested in the brand, and so we suspect maybe 10 or 15 by the end of the year, and then we have a very optimistic goal of 100 in the next 5 years. We'll see how well we're able to accomplish that.
Well, it just if this interview is telling anything at all, I think it's more than optimistic. It's probably more of a realistic goal. So, is there anything else? I mean, I'm thinking through our notes and stuff we were talking earlier. I was thinking that this is just veteran owned. Is there obviously it's easy to get into. You're easy to talk to. Find yourself on the website. Is that where we should point veterans to?
Yeah,
Consider
absolutely.
this?
Veteranservicebrands.com is definitely the place to go. You can also jump on the paintcore.com corporate website. There's going to be links and various options to get a hold of the team, and we can kind of get you moving if you are interested in either the Paintcore brand or one of the other veteran service brands. They're all kind of available to you there.
Well, this has been a great conversation. Hey, just out of curiosity, what was the hardest part about transitioning for you? I mean, I know that this wasn't your first gig out of the service. So tell me just so other veterans out there can relate, what was the hardest thing for you?
Yeah, so my transition was very difficult. I would say just kind of the not having anything to do, and that's kind of part of what drove me in this direction as well. I did spend a few months just trying to figure out what my next step was, and I will say those were the toughest few months of my life. But once I grabbed hold of something and went with it, probably the best decision of my life.
I have to tell you, this is a great conversation, Burgess, because I think many people can relate, and they can also you actually probably inspire a few today to understand to kind of take control of their destiny, for lack of a better word, and that it doesn't always have to be the same career path that you choose when you get out. You can choose to do something completely different, and I think you are a success story. So, thank you for spending time with me today. I appreciate it very, very much.
Yes, thank you, Stacy. I was glad to be here. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thanks everyone for GI Jobs. I'm Stacy Heisman with Burgess Perry with Paint Corps. And if you want to read more about it, find our article in GI Jobs. Thank you very much. Have a great day.